Well, good morning everybody. Well, it's pushing afternoon now. Just dealing with some issues of maintenance, but we're about to head out of here. Towing the lamb track to the job. I got the bucket on there. The machine weighs 12 plus 3 for the head, and then the bucket weighs, I don't know, a couple hundred, I don't know. But brought to my attention that when I do my towing videos, I talk about numbers, what the engine temp, all that stuff, what the E.G.Ts are, but I've never really discussed on how to keep your E.G.Ts at bay to make them behave the way you want them, shifting gears when necessary and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to go into today. So without further ado, we got 25,000-ish pounds behind the Dodge. We're going to go ahead and line up the hill, and I'm going to try my best so you guys can see the gauges and see what they're reading as we go. So heading up a couple big hills, so I'll get you guys some good readings. Ease up to the highway here. First thing I want to address before we actually take off here today is I make these videos because I felt there was a gap in the YouTube world that nobody was filling with informational videos such as towing, E.G.Ts, how each truck behaves. And I've gone out of my way on a lot of occasions trying to fill those gaps. So if you guys are not interested in a long video of me talking about how the truck's towing right now, it's time to leave. If not, if you want to learn a little bit today on how this truck behaves and how this setup works, stick around and enjoy the ride. Let's have a good time. So first thing is E.G.Ts, your exhaust gas temperature. You don't want it very hot. There's a certain temperature that you can hit and stay there, and it's no big deal. You know, it'll balance out at a certain area. Like right now, third gear at 2,500 RPM, I'm at 900 E.G.Ts. Nice, simple, no big deal. But check this out. If I go up one gear, grab fourth, I don't really need to. I went down RPMs to 1,400. E.G.Ts are climbing. I don't have enough in the tank to make the hill, enough torque at a low RPM to pull that through. So what's happening is diesel's just getting flooded into the engine. It's just trying to water down the cylinder, and then it's trying to throw some boost at it. And until you get that right combination of boost and fuel to where it cleans up, it's almost like power band on a 2-stroke, you're gonna start to radiate a bunch of heat, form a bunch of heat inside your engine, and that translates out the back end of E.G.Ts. I don't like to run more than 1,300 on my E.G.Ts. This truck does pretty dang good. I'm not super thrilled. Oh, we gotta stop on a hill. This is always fun when you gotta stop doing this. He's gonna let us through. Like I was saying, I don't like going over 1,300 degrees. 1,200, 1,250 is like, I'm really getting her done with this truck. Like right now, she's gonna see a little bit of heat. This here right here, that's my E.G.T gauge. I don't know if you guys can see the other ones or if it really matters, but we hit 1,100 right there, bogging her down. Gonna try and get a new programmer for the truck. I mean programmer, I mean a guy that's running the computer behind the actual thing you plug into it, and see if we can work some better magic, because I'm not happy with somebody that doesn't write back. So that's where we're sitting on that. But I've heard some guys run 1,300, 1,400 degrees. That's gonna start melting some stuff down. But how you avoid, you know, one way to keep your engine, or one way to keep your E.G.Ts at a good, decent level, first thing is, if you're bogging it, you're creating heat. Engine's not doing its job efficiently. It just two heads button. You got fuel and boost just button, and they're just making heat, and it's not making power. So you got to keep your RPMs up. So like I showed you coming up that hill, I grabbed another gear higher. It just started building up the heat because I had too low RPMs and it wasn't working out. So go back to third gear. You got the RPMs up, your engine's running efficient, everything should be working good right there like that. But something else to consider, if you have the guy that programmed your truck or the tuner. I had Mini-Max before I had EFI Live. Now, I chased a lot of rabbit holes with that setup. I'll tell you, it wasn't the most fun or practical of a setup having Mini-Max. Towing heavy, towing light, it was kind of like a little go-kart that ripped around town. It had some really instant power because it was just giving a lot of fuel. It would roll coal and all that stuff. But the problem with that is it didn't really matter if I downshifted or not. E.G.Ts wanted to stay high. No matter what, they wanted to stay high because it was just over fueling the system and it wasn't creating a good combination. Especially for towing heavy. You don't want a race car when you're towing heavy. You want some good, reasonable, usable power. That's like the biggest thing. It have the usable power. You could have the most horsepower in the world, but if you don't got you know, the right gearing and all that stuff, low-end grunt's a big thing in a diesel. So this truck right now, I'm going to say it's towing the best it's ever towed, and I'm looking for more room for improvement, not being cocky, not wanting extra power, but I can feel it. I can tell it does good at some areas, and then others it needs some help. But downshift when your E.G.Ts start to get high. You don't have to run your ego up the hill. If you think you can pull it in a higher gear and just bury your E.G.T gauge, you know, that's sealing your own fate. You're gonna start hurting some stuff inside your engine. Or, you never know, you might get lucky and she lasts 1,000,000 miles just running her hot rodded like that. But for me personally, I would like to run at a conservative area, something that I trust, and I like to make it home every day, and I don't really care to burn up an engine. So, little story time. The first time I ever really towed anything sizable, I was 19 years old. I had my 96 12 valve. I just did a 5-speed swap on it. Truck was sweet. I miss that truck. Anyway, there's Harlicker and the boys right here. We'll put them on the video. That's my buddy. But I went up to Nevada. You got to cross a pretty decent summit getting over there, and I picked up a 97 12 valve, overloaded a trailer, towing it back, and it was good fun though. But coming back over the summit, that truck, 12 valve of mine, it was tuned up sweet. It had great power, and I was watching the E.G.Ts that ISPRO gauges on it, and it had like the green, yellow, and red. And mind you, I just put new engine in that truck, just did a 5-speed swap. There's a lot of variables to go into stuff like that. So I'm going up this hill, just cruising along, this truck's eating it up. I didn't really, I guess I just got a little ahead of myself and wasn't watching the E.G.Ts, but it's the first time I got it over 1200 and it kind of scared me a little bit. But coincidentally, at that very same moment, it popped a turbo boot off. So that's like, I popped one off before, but it still scared me. And it took me a second to realize what actually happened. The truck obviously didn't have a turbo on it, didn't have power. I just saw the highest E.G.Ts I ever saw, which 1250, 1300. It's not really that bad. I downshifted it immediately and pulled the hill in fourth. And minus a turbo, that 12 valve still ate up a big old hill with like 10,000 pounds behind it without a problem. So that was pretty cool. Pulled over, fixed that. But I tell you, my heart was racing, and my uncle, he just told me calm down and eat a cookie. We had some cookie snacks there. But my instinct immediately downshifted it because I knew that's what you're supposed to do when your E.G.Ts get high. Like right here, I'm still running high E.G.Ts, but I'm at 70-80% throttle, and it peaked out at 1100. 1100 is completely okay. I'm still in a high RPM. 1100, no big deal. If it gets 13, 14, 1500, oh buddy, you better downshift or you better pull your truck over and figure out what the hell's going on wrong. But in my experience, good foundation in your tuner, that's where it all boiled back to me. Struggle busting it, trying to get this truck dialed, and it's still not dialed. Still not dialed. But she's eating up hills now, I'll tell you that much. She's pulled hills faster and stronger than it has ever with this current setup on it. And highest I seen the E.G.Ts, I got 1350. I kissed it for a second. And if you hit E.G.Ts that high, that's good for you. You're not driving my truck, and I'm not, you know, gonna hold a hill going 1400 at that. And stock might be different. I'd like to throw a E.G.T probe on my new truck and see what that thing's running stock, pulling some of these big loads. But stock, rumored to not last that long. I think we got one more big hill coming up. I'll do another E.G.T section of that. But again, if you guys are not enjoying these rambling videos, do not watch them. I'm trying to spread the word and knowledge that I have acquired. If you want to bash me in the comment sections, you're going to get a quick delete and a block, or I'll send my boys on you. And if you guys find somebody in the comment section before I comment on it that's saying something ridiculous, please don't try to flare up on the guy and be an absolute dick back to him. But if you want to be smart with your words and defend me, go ahead. But please no cussing in the comments. I try my best to avoid that on these videos, trying to be respectful for any of the younger kids that might be watching these. Trying to set a better example, if you will. And if you guys say some good stuff in the comments, I'm more than happy to send you some free merchandise. The old boy this morning, I told him give me his address. I'm going to send him a hat for what he said. If you're watching it now, thank you, brother. I appreciate you defending me and defending the channel. But anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next uphill, and we'll see what kind of E.G.Ts we deliver.
I can't no more. I got the horses in the bag.
Alright, I finally broke down. I had to listen to that song. I don't listen to normal radio, so it hasn't been in my life yet. But let's go ahead and eat up this hill. Now, eating her third gear right now at 2300 RPM. We're gonna see some. I pulled the 080 up this last night, third gear the whole run, and it did it just fine. Got a little close at the peak of this hill, but right now we're under 1,000 on the E.G.Ts, 2,500 RPM. She's just chooching her right up this thing. Engine temps 193. Everything's golden. Somebody said, go, like when I'm towing up a hill like this, my RPMs are high. They said, why don't I just go ahead and grab the next gear? Your truck's got the power to pull it. No, because you don't need to. It's not going to pull any faster. Because right here, I'm down to 2,000 RPM to make this little corner. Grabbing fourth gear in that situation would have just skyrocketed the E.G.Ts at just shy of 1,200 right there. It would have buried the E.G.Ts, and I would just have to go back to third for the corner anyway. There is, you know, I feel like the biggest thing is your ego. You can't overdo it. You know what you need to do. You don't need to try to exceed it every time and do it better. You know what hill is going to be, what gear it's going to be, all that stuff. Sure, you might have enough power to bury your throttle and still pull it, but you're overworking some stuff that's already, in my opinion, these trucks are already overworked as it is. So there's no need to go grabbing an extra gear when you don't need it. You just don't. It's pointless. Or when somebody says you shouldn't have downshifted, your temperatures are just fine. Well, if my RPMs are dropping off the chart, I gotta go grab another gear, or else we ain't gonna make the hill. It's just gonna kill the engine, I guarantee it. But we're gonna end this video here. We got another exciting one that I'm gonna film immediately after I stop this. Another job that rubber track would have been great for getting into this job, but it's super steep, so I don't know how well the rubber track would have worked when it came to this next bit. So, but I'm gonna switch cameras to a different location, and we're gonna film that one, so that'll be tomorrow's video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I brought and shed some light on how to keep your E.G.Ts running a little bit cooler, all bottoms down, to just downshift it if she starts getting a little too carried away on that, climbing up the charts. But we'll see you guys next time. Hit them buttons, hit like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what kind of E.G.Ts you guys are comfortable with. I've asked it before, but mainly guys that are towing heavy. But see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.